Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm just glad you're here. I want to take a second and say thank you to the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to anyone who comes in, subscribes to the content, watches the content. Thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who just comes in and checks out the content and enjoys it. I appreciate that. Thank you. So today I have got knife that is either a production model or a prototype. I think this is a production model, or it's the final prototype of a pre-order. I think that's the way it actually works out. It is the Mr. Designs Aeon, or Eon, A-E-O-N. I call it Aeon. I called it Eon before. I don't know why I changed it. But it is Mr. and Mr.'s most recent design. It is on their website now for pre-order, and this has been going around in one of the pass arounds that Mihai had sent out for Mr. And Rob's Nerdy Knives sent it to me, and I've had it for a few days, long enough to come to the conclusion that, like other Mr. designs, this is like other Mr. designs. This is a very sleek, understated, elegant design. But this is a big, not full-size knife. It is a titanium. This one's bead blasted titanium, Stonewashed. It's a flat grind, bead blasted S90V blade with very little branding. You've got the S90V there in the corner. You've got the Mr.'s maker's mark right there. You've got a very unique build where you've got this inset liner lock on the clip side, and then you've just got the milled titanium scale on the show side. So it really reduces the weight in this knife, and it makes it very comfortable. The action is next level. It is a flipper tab only, but the flipper tab is, I think, fantastically designed. You've got this very low profile flipper that has about 5-6 jimps here on top, and you literally just barely give it any gas, and that huge blade flies out. Drop shut. And like I say, this knife's been around the bend. It's been to other reviewers' houses. They've cut with it. They've tried with it, played with it. This knife is solid. Still cuts great. Wonderful access to that liner lock. For a gentleman's folder, a full-size gentleman's folder, this is chef's kiss. I absolutely love this knife. We're going to do some size comparisons in a second, but I've got a 3.5-inch hand, and you can tell that it fits my hand just perfectly. It is a large knife, I would say, medium, large size knife, with an amazingly thin blade. That's something we'll see here in a second with some of the other Mr. knives I own. This one's just a loaner that's going around, but they work with amazingly thin blade stock, which results in really good cutting geometry and designs that, when I bought my first Mr. design early last year, I was never in the flipper-only market, and I liked the knife so much that I bought a flipper-only knife. Not 2 weeks later, I bought a second Mr. design, flipper-only knife, because again, I was a fan of the designs. As my kind of hike through this hobby changes, I learned that, for a while there, and still my primary pleasurable way of opening a knife is middle finger flicking it. But when I come across a knife that's designed well, that's engineered well, that functions well, and has snap like that, I'm going to get it up here by my mic. I don't know if you can hear that crack. I'm barely putting any gas. I'm just breaking the detent. So what I'm doing is I'm giving it just enough pressure to break the detent. When it breaks the detent, there's no failing this knife. If I want to really crank into it and just open it like I would a normal flipper, it's instant. You've got a really nice milled pocket clip here that works well. This has been in my pocket for a couple of days. Almost fully deep carry, but not all the way. But you've got a nice back spacer. Again, you've got this hollow milled out scale on the show side. I can never tell if y'all can see that. I'm trying to get it, or I can see it through my phone. But anyway, maybe it'll show up on camera. But this, again, the liner is only on the clip side, and that was to reduce weight. And the design, if you'll notice, on the show side, you have no hardware. Absolutely clean. Zero hardware, which is a very cool look. I like the Stonewashed blade because it's very easy to get tape off of, to get goop off of, because I've been cutting a lot with it. You have the clip screw and the pivot screw. Take those off. You can disassemble the knife from there. Goes together, comes apart very, very easily. You've got nice jimping here on this thin blade, and we'll get some measurements on that here shortly. This knife, again, I know Rob's Nerdy Knives had it. He did not sharpen it. I don't know who had it before him. So this knife has not been sharpened to my knowledge. It is, again, S90V with super thin blade stock. OEM by Bestech. It's a pre-order that's, going to be 6-7 months out. But I know it's under $300. I want to say it's $269, but it could be a little bit lower than that. I'll put a link to the website. I have no affiliation or no affiliate links with Mr. Mister Designs. I'll just put the link to this particular knife. But guys, I am a huge fan. I've got several of his knives, or 2 of them, that I really, really like both of them. And I'll show you those here. We'll do those for the first size comparisons. But the liner lock that's inset's also steel, so you've got really smooth transition and really solid lockup. I don't know if you can see that lockup there. Whoops. And then you can see the access that passed through to your lock bar right there. You've got not contoured, you got flat on the center here where it's smooth, but you do have an angled on this contour, so it's chamfered, I guess you'd say, or beveled back. Feels very comfortable in the hand. Again, it's such a simplistic design that it really lends itself to be a comfortable cutter. So the first Mr. Mister design knife that I purchased was the Mr. Mister Cypher. The Cypher is also a full-size knife. Totally different in design. Liner lock. But the thing that's similar is the blade stock. You'll notice the Aeon is thinner even than my Cypher. And this one's an M390. And then the second Mr. Mister design I bought shortly thereafter, because I was so impressed with it, was the Zero. The Zero is an M390 blade that is going to be right about the same thickness as the Aeon, which again is very, very thin. But it's a shorter knife. All these function very well as gentleman's folders. Let's look at some knives you guys might be familiar with if you haven't had a Mr. Mister. Give you some size comparisons with the Benchmade Bug Out. Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit right around the same size as the PM2. It's going to be close. We're going to call it close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. So right around PM2 length. Now let's get calipers. And this blade stock, guys, this S90V comes down to 0.0830. That's what you're starting with. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get a measurement on this. 0.0185. And I don't know if I measured that accurately. And the handle width is slim. It's going to come in under ½ an inch at 0.44. 0.4465. And then we'll get some terrestrial measurements. I think it's going to be over 8 inches. Where's my tape measure? So right between 8 1/4 and 8 1/2 inches in the overall length. The handle length is right over 4 1/2, right under 4 3/4. And then the blade length is right under 3 3/4, with a cutting edge of 3 1/2 inches exactly. You got a nice sharpening choil here. Plunge grind, I would like if I could make one little, I don't know how they could bring that plunge back or bring that choil up a little bit. You get a couple of good sharpenings out of that. You could take a good bit of steel off. I don't know if you can see. Choil's done there. And again, 2 screws, very minimal branding. I think this is going to be available in at least 2 colorways, the raw tie and a black version. And again, I love it. If I was in the knife market right now, I would probably pre-order one of these. And I say probably because I had sworn off pre-orders, but because it's just waiting for them. However, good knives you make exceptions for, and I can assure you this is a fantastic knife. If you're looking for a large to medium large folding knife that's not hard use, but it's still very slicey, very EDC, very capable of cutting a lot of different materials. Cardboard, this thing absolutely shreds. I have cut a bunch of cardboard with it, and I mean, guys, again, so much is blade geometry, but this just eats cardboard up and then goes back to paper. I've got tape on the blade, so you're going to see a little bucking. I mean, this knife is a winner, guys. I'm a big fan. Well under $300. OEM by Best Tech. Designed by Mr. Designs. I give it a huge kudos. I give Mihai congratulations on continuing to design unique knives that look like no other, that function very well. Every one of them, the thing that I see in common except for the Phantom, which is one of the ones I don't own, is they all hide the blades so well. Really elegantly designed, well done. Guys, thank you. If y'all are still here, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. It won't hurt my feelings. It'll help me do better. But if you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button down there, the bell notification icon. Most importantly, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose to bake, not hate. I love you all. Peace.